Apple car director is leaving to Lumina. He was ultimately poached from Tesla. Luminar. He was poached from Tesla to Apple, and now he's leaving for Luminar. So the question is, he was
poached from NVIDIA. And then what happened is got circuit breaker, and then he disrupted himself.
All right. Justin, do you think Apple's next S-curve is the car, and if they can actually pull it off?
No, I think what people don't give or enough credence to is once you have a company of more than like 50 people, there's a DNA. And I think Apple's DNA is personal hardware, supplemented by delightful software, walled garden software, but they are and have always been hardware forward.
But a car is a personal piece of hardware, right?
It's big. It takes welding and manufacturing and engineering, not software engineering, not little microchip engineering, but like Tesla gets all this crap about panel gaps. So, and of course they have the most, they have a really high quality, requirement in their DNA. They won't put out a bad product. And I think this article said that they lost their entire executive team on their car project over the last 2 years. Nearly the entire Apple car management team has left. I don't think the car is in their DNA. I think they need to focus on Google Glass 2.0, Apple Glass, or whatever the heck they're going to do.
Tom, you think we're going to get a car?
Well, I actually checked this before the show because I wanted to see how many car manufacturers we had 100 years ago and how many we have today. And I'm going to give you all a guess to guess how much, and then I'm going to tell you the real number.
How many we had before when?
100 years ago, how much we have today?
Yeah, I actually saw a video on this, so I'll let Amit.
Okay. I'll say 100 years ago we had about 20, and now we have about 150.
Okay, so 100 years ago we had 44 brands. That's 1929. Right now we have 60 brands, but these 60 brands are controlled by 14 manufacturers. So in fact, we shrunk from 40 to 14 realistically behind the logos. So that just goes to show you that it's really hard to build a car. Ask Elon Musk and how he was on the brink of complete destruction, personal, 4 divorces, complete collapse personally. I mean, sleeping on the floor for 20 years. I mean, Elon Musk, the smartest guy on earth who came in with this with a shit ton of money and the motivation to work 8 days a week, 25 hours a day, he was on the brink of complete bankruptcy. And by sheer luck avoided it. And now we're seeing the results. But I mean, it's hard to build a car. Now, what I will tell you is that I actually prepared the prop today. This is Apple's car in one image. This is the Apple car. This is what's left of it.
You guys really don't think Apple can put the work together and they have the cash and the resources? Like, I know it's hard, but I feel like you guys are being a little
It's like Netflix trying to make content of their own. They can potentially do it, but they're overpaying, under-delivering, the content is trash, and they're completely ruining their own business. Netflix are not a content producer. Apple are not auto manufacturers. Now, what Apple can do, that might work, they can white label the car, and they can get somebody to build a car for them and just plaster their logo on it, like Nikola is doing with the Iveco, and calling it the Nikola the Nikola Tre. And but the margins in this business are going to be so horrific. With the white label business, the margins are trash. So
and
I
the
don't think it's
experience is
interesting
bad. That's not in their DNA to outsource. Yeah. They are like a fully integrated.
They're a premium brand. Everything they need the Lucid level of a car. Like as far as like it needs to be like a premium product.
They should go buy their way in. If they need the DNA, they need to buy their way in. And one of the things,
what we're missing here?
One of the things I will let me just say about Tim Cook, I think he's not an all-time great CEO like Satya is because he's a great operator, but he's not a great integrator of M&A. And at that maturity level, you can't just birth new things all the time. Like you need to acquire.
He did buy Beats by Dre.
And look how that's going.
I have one.
I mean, look how that's going. It's not going. It didn't do much for them, if anything. They probably overpaid, quite honestly. And guess what? developing in-house AirPods was actually way bigger of a thing than buying Beats.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they paid $3 billion.
We talked about it. He's more of a COO than a CEO. And, but I'll tell you one thing: if Lucid manages to actually be a car manufacturer, which I highly doubt, since I think they're full of shit, full of hot air. But if Lucid managed to pull through and actually deliver cars on scale, that's the Apple Car, because that's what the Apple Car should have been. So if Lucid has a chance, they might take that category, and that it's bad news for Apple, because that's essentially the car they had the time to build it, but they missed the train. So Lucid still has a chance to make the Apple Car. Maybe they collaborate. I'm just going to say, I wanted not to say it because I don't want to get sued, so I'm going to say it gently. The one thing that's in common between the Apple Car and Lucid is both of them don't have a car.
Bro, Kevin has a Lucid. You're wrong.
It's different than building in scale. I can make a few cars myself in the garage. It doesn't mean jack shit. Let's see you make 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 cars. I mean, they ship what, like 5 cars, 1 to Kevin, and 4 more elsewhere. I mean, how many Lucids have you seen on the street?
Yeah, 0. I've seen some Rivians. I've seen some. I've seen some other ones.
Amit, you're like the Lucid of hosts.
Are you calling him pretty?